street stocks come to life as the green flag flies. Kazmarski gets a nose out front early on. It is a very fast Eplet coming up in the 74. Keep your eyes on him. Don't count out Chuck Smith anytime soon either. He's always a factor in that 85. Kazmarski gets himself out front. The battle now going on for the second spot. Farber's got it for the moment. Chuck Smith now working the inside of Farber, going down into turns 3 and 4. Chuck Smith continues to look to the inside. Will Farber give him room? Not this time by. Told you to keep your eyes on that number 13. He has clawed his way up to the 5th spot already. It's Derek Poland in the number 13. Hard charging up through 3 and 4. Out front, though, it is all Kazmarski in the 82. Kazmarski out front. Mark Farber's worked his way up to the 2nd spot. Chuck Smith now looks to the inside of Farber. Down the backstretch, door to door into turn number 3. Give the spot to Chuck Smith this time by in that number 85. Now Smith wants the lead. He steals it that lap. Chuck Smith goes to the point. Now Mark Farber wants a piece of the action. He's working his way up. Kendall Marling having a great run in that number 25 as well. Josh Fry's made himself a contender. He runs 4th. Sadie Klein's worked her way up to the 5th spot. Our current champion in the number 8. Marling now goes to work on Mark Farber in the 25 and that number 6. Mark Farber out front by himself. Josh Fry, he wants a piece of the action in that 3rd spot. He's in the 44. Caution flag comes out. It is your pole sitter, McNabb, bringing out the caution. He is up inside of turn number 2. Chuck Smith having a pretty great race, running about a 17-second lap in that number 85. He's followed up by Mark Farber, Josh Fry, Kendall Marling, and Sadie Klein, rounding out your top 5. Josh Fry hard on the gas into turn number 2. He's got a nose out in front of Chuck Smith. Can he make the pass going down into 3 and 4? We'll find out one more time. Josh Fry to the point in the 44. Fry is the 85 of Chuck Smith, followed up by Kendall Marling by a nose. Now Mark Farber gets a little loose coming out of turn number 2. He's got slides back to almost 6th position now. Tough break for Farber in that number 6. Fry, Smith, and Marling, 1, 2, and 3. Josh Fry out front, followed up by Chuck Smith and Kendall Marling. 74, Eplet has worked his way up to the 4th spot. Sadie Klein still hanging tough in that number 8. She rounds out your top 5. Fry gets himself out front in that number 44. Chuck Smith having a pretty good run still in the 85. Kendall Marling now running in the third spot. He's in the 25. Eplin in the 74. And Sadie Klein manages to hang on to that fifth spot in the number 8. Mark Farber off the track down the backstretch in that number 6. We'll see if he brings out a caution. Looks like Farber's just going to sit content. Doesn't look like he's going to get the caution he'd hoped for. Josh Fry out front, followed up by Chuck Smith, Kendall Marling, and Eplin in the 74. Laps to go for Josh Fry in that 44. It's Chuck Smith. Battle now going on for the third spot. Eplin now edging his way up and around the 25 of Kendall Marling. Give number 3 to the 74 of Eplin. White flag is out this time by one more time around for Josh Fry in the 44. Josh Fry having a great run in that 44, out front by a mile by himself. Coming out of 3 and 4 for the final time. Here come the checkers. It's Josh Fry. Followed up by the 85 of Chuck Smith and the 74 of Eplin. Comes home in the third spot. Kendall Marling in the fourth spot and Sadie Klein in the 8 rounds out your top 5.
Glow Sun and Shades, simply fabulous.
You have been kissed by the sun.
Beginning as a lumber company in 1911, Fredericks Construction has been servicing the Muskegon area since 1969. Family owned and operated, they specialize in roofing, siding, windows, insulation, additions, doors, decks, and more. Located at 1940 Commerce Street in beautiful downtown Muskegon, their phone number is 231-722-3937. When you want quality workmanship, you want Fredericks Construction.
Grabe Water Well Drilling specializes in household and irrigation. Whether you're building a new home or you need a new well, Grabe's Water and Well Drilling digs a 4-inch hole so you can have your pump in the well instead of in your basement.
Specialties Oil and Service Center, 5427 Apple Avenue in Muskegon. Their number is 231-788-2400. Loyal, honest, and friendly service. Please see us for your next oil lube and car care next door to Exhaust Specialties. All your automotive needs in one convenient area.
Rick's Repairs offers professional auto repair at a fair price. A Napa Auto Care Center, Rick is an ASE certified master auto technician. Heating and cooling systems, steering and suspension, shocks and struts, brakes, anti-lock and 4x4 repairs, drivability, tune-ups, electrical, engine repair, alternators, starters, clutches, clunks, rattles, and more. Rick's Repairs, 231-788-1830.
Behind that number 91 of Adam Frosch as the green flag flies. 4 car. He is Andrew Terrell rides third. The battle now between Sternberg and that number 9 of Passaneer. Sternberg settles for 4th. Passaneer rides 5th. Second to set the field for you. Out front, it is the 1E of Jeff Erickson Jr. He's followed up by Adam Thrush, Andrew Terrell, Robbie Sternberg, Derek Passaneer, Nick Kurtz, Chad Bauer. David Milkey now moves his way up to the 7th spot. Chad Bauer down to 8th. The 9th spot goes to Andy Sprague, and rounding out your top 10, the 14C of Kevin Cavanaugh. Is out front by a mile in the modified A main. Clicking off about 15.5 seconds a lap in that number 1E. He's followed up by Adam Thrush in the 91, the 14 of Andrew Terrell. Robbie Sternberg rides in the 4th spot. It's the 5th spot of David Milkey. We've got 16 laps to go. Jeff Erickson Jr. coming up on some lap traffic. Doesn't matter much to him. He is out front by a mile. 3.5-second lead for Jeff Erickson Jr. over Adam Thrush. Andrew Terrell running 3rd. It is Robbie Sternberg in the 4th spot. 5th goes to Dave Milkey. 9P of Derek Passaneer scored 6th. Andy Sprague is 7th. Now 8th, Nick Kurtz. It is Travis Stemler 9th and Chad Bauer running 10th. Caution comes out. Winston safety truck on his way out to tend to the car, bringing out our caution. Going to slow the field up. Tough break. 3-second lead out front for Adam Thrush. 3-second lead for Jeff Erickson Jr. over Adam Thrush. This is going to tighten him up with 13 laps to go. Jeff Erickson Jr. not having a hard time holding on to that number 1 spot as the green flag comes back out with 13 laps to go. Caution flag waves once again. Second spot as we get ready to go green once again. Debris bringing out a caution as we got a restart going on there. Tough break, that debris in turn number 1. Erickson leads him back to green, coming up out of turn number 4. The green flag is out. Robbie Sternberg makes a move to the inside. He wants up a piece of that second spot. Sternberg in the 73 looking strong as the laps wind down. Milkey now trying to make a move. He wants up a piece of that second spot. The 87 goes to number 2. The 4, Andrew Terrell, bobbles and weaves out of turn number 4. Robbie Sternberg now works his way up to the third spot, and take a look, it's the 1S of Andy Sprague. He's on his way to the front as well. As they run, Jeff Erickson Jr. at the point. Dave Milkey rides second in the 87. It's the number 73 riding third. That is Robbie Sternberg. Caution comes out on the racetrack down in turns 1 and 2. Got some cars dinged up down over there. Field coming through 3 and 4, coming hard on the gas, and we are back to green. Erickson Jr. out front. Milkey now putting some pressure on him. He's got about a 3-car length deficit to catch up to that 1E. Andy Sprague now comes to life late in this race in the 1S. He's worked his way up to the third spot, snatching it away from Robbie Sternberg in that 73. Laps to go next time by Dave Milkey, waiting to make his move on Jeff Erickson Jr. Milkey and Erickson switching spots up front. Erickson to the point. Now Milkey to the point. By a nose. What a race we've got going out front at Winston Speedway with 3 laps to go. Dave Milkey to the point. Jeff Erickson Jr. now riding in the second spot. Great race for Erickson up to the tail end of the lap. Andy Sprague has worked his way up into the third spot in that 1S. 2 laps to go. White flag is coming out on the 87 of Dave Milkey. He waited for his moment, made his move, and now he is on the point, heading off into turn 2. Erickson a distant second in that 1E. A tough break, dominating race for Erickson. One more time from 3 and 4. Here comes the 87 of Dave Milkey with the checkers, followed up by Erickson and Sprague. Sternberg finishes 4th, and it is the 4 of Terrell coming home in the 5th spot. Wanted cars, trucks, vans. Sprague's Auto Parts offers top prices for your wrecked, junk, or unwanted vehicles. Cash on the spot. We pick up or you drop off. For more information, call 231-726-2988. Sprague's Auto Parts, 81 South Getty Street, Muskegon. We buy cars for cash.
Which would you rather do? This or this? We thought so. For the jobs nobody likes to do, Batka's cleaning service.
When your transmission is in trouble, it is important to find reliable and honest mechanics. National Transmission will get the job done right. Located at 4037 East Apple Avenue in Muskegon, you can call them at 231-788-3244.
Rick's Repairs offers professional auto repair at a fair price. A Napa Auto Care Center, Rick is an ASE certified master auto technician. Heating and cooling systems, steering and suspension, shocks and struts, brakes, anti-lock and 4x4 repairs, drivability, tune-ups, electrical, engine repair, alternators, starters, clutches, clunks, rattles, and more. Rick's Repairs, 231-788-1830.
The green flag is out on the 50 lap All-Star 50. At Winston Speedway tonight, Rich Neeser out front early and Thurlby set for the second spot. 91 of Schlenk tucks into line third. Rich Neeser out front in that number 87. His lap time 15.248. Then it's Brandon Thurlby. He's 0.285 seconds back. Rusty Schlenk rides third. John McCall in the 27M fourth. And fifth going to Chris Keller in that 00. Keller moves himself up to fourth. Rusty Schlenk rides third. Thurlby out front. Thurlby in the second spot, Neeser still out front. Comfortable lead in that number 87. Thurlby snatches the lead away. He goes to the point in the M14. Thurlby grabbed that top spot and set sail. He is out front now with a difference of about 1.2 seconds over Rich Neeser riding second. Rusty Schlenk is in the third spot in the 91S, followed by Chris Keller and Kurt Spalding in the 111 rounds out your top five. Six on back, John McCall, Ryan Vanderbeek, Dusty Moore, Ryan Ruhlman, and Eric Spangler in the 27th, rides 10th. Followed up by Rich Neeser, Rusty Schlenk, Chris Keller, and Kurt Spalding, your top five. Ryan Vanderbeek rides in the sixth spot. John McCall, seventh. Dusty Moore now in the 75 car. He runs in the eighth spot. Ryan Ruhlman's crawled his way up to the ninth spot. Eric Spangler continues to run 10th in the number 27. Ryan Ruhlman slow on the track, brings out a caution to number 49. Tough break for Ruhlman. As we get ready to go back green, the 50-lap All-Star Performance event going on here tonight at Winston. Green flag is back out. 3 seconds over Rusty Slick. He's followed by Chris Keller. Rich Neeser rides the 4th spot. Kurt Spalding having a great run. He's worked his way up to the number 5 spot in at 111. Then it's Ryan Vanderveen, John McCall, Eric Spangler, Donna Marcoullier, and Greg Goki in the number 1, rounding out your top 10. Difference between first and 10th right now, about 8 seconds. Great pace being put out by the number M14 of Brandon Thurlby. Thurlby caught some lap traffic here. He's trying to work his way through them. That's given the number 91 of Rusty Schlenk a chance to take the lead. Rusty Schlenk grabs it in that number 91. Sean Reed Jr. not wanting to go a lap down in that 07. He's awful young. He was running a 4-cylinder last year. Worked his way up to late models now. Now he gives that M14 a little bit of room to run. Damage done, though. It is Rusty Schlenk in the number 91 to the point. He has put some serious distance now. 10 car lengths between him and the 14 of Thurlby. That's a difference of a second and a half. Past the halfway point, it is Rusty Schlenk in the number 91. He is scored first. Next one back, 1.951 seconds is the M14 of Brandon Thurlby. Chris Keller, Rich Neeser, Kurt Spalding, your top 5 here at Winston Speedway. Our All-Star Performance 50. Rusty Schlenk continues to show the way in the 91S. Caution flag comes out, 22 laps to go. Schlenk leads him back to green this time by 22 laps to go in the All-Star 50 event at Winston. Is up in the wall in the number 49. Caution flag waves a little late. Rusty Schlenk gets on the brakes hard, so does the rest of the field. Schlenk, Thurlby, and the 00. Here at Winston Speedway. As the field comes back up to speed, we are back under green. picked up a win last night at I-96 Speedway. He's got 16 laps to lead this one. Collect 2 sets of checkers in one night. Rusty Slink in the 91 out front. He's followed up by Chris Keller, then Brandon Thurlby. 23B of Ryan Vanderveen riding in the 4th spot. 5th, Kurt Spalding. Donor Marcoulier's worked his way to 6th. Tom Sprague Jr. having a great run. He's up into the top 10. He currently runs 7th. Then it's Rich Neeser, Eric Spangler, and Dusty Moore rounding out your top 10. Dusty Moore driving the number 75. Laps to go for the 91S of Rusty Slink. Currently holding a 2.260 advantage, second advantage lead over the second place car of Chris Keller. Substantial lead for Rusty Slink in that number 91S. Chris Keller grabs that second spot away in the 00. He's now 2.715 seconds behind Rusty Slink with 11 laps to go. Caution flag comes out. Sean Reed Jr. turned around up between turns 3 and 4 in that 07 car. 9 laps to go here at Winston Speedway. Rusty Slink continues to show the way. He is back hard on the gas as the green flag comes back out. 9 to go. Thurlby waiting to make his move in that number 14. Thurlby goes low. Schlenk rides the high line. He holds on this lap. Thurlby is on the move. He wants that check. Battle now going on for the 3rd spot between the 00 of Chris Keller and Vanderveen in that 23rd. Vanderveen tucks back in the line in 4th. Donor Marcoullier starting to knock on the door of the top 3 as well in that number 6. Laps to settle in. It's Slink out front still. He's got a 1 second advantage over the M14 of Brandon Thurlby. Chris Keller, Vanderveen, Donor Marcoullier, your top 5. Marcoullier drives the number 6. 1 through 5, single file with 4 laps to go. Laps to go for the number 91 of Rusty Slink. Picked up a win last night at I-96 Speedway. They race every Friday night down there at I-96, and we're up here doing it at Winston on Saturdays. Still continuing to put some distance on the rest of the field. Rusty Slink now 2 laps to go. White flag out this time on the number 91S of Rusty Slink. Taking the white flag, final lap of the All-Star Performance 50 here at Winston Speedway. Rusty Slink goes off into turn number 2, down the backstretch into 3 and 4, one final time. He makes it look like he's driving on glass. Here come the checkers, the 91 Slink, followed up by the 14 of Thurlby, and Vanderveen comes home in the 3rd spot in that number 23. Rusty Slink doubling up on the wins this weekend. Picked up the win at I-96 last night in that number 91. Tonight, it is the All-Star Performance 50 here at Winston Speedway. Rusty Slink, your winner.
When your transmission is in trouble, it is important to find reliable and honest mechanics. National Transmission will get the job done right. Located at 4037 East Apple Avenue in Muskegon, you can call them at 231-788-3244.
Just made it.
Hi folks, looks like we're going to be here at least 15 minutes.
Hello, Jimmy John's?
Someone order Jimmy John's?
Jimmy John's. Order online at jimmyjohns.com. Jimmy John's. Freaky fast delivery.
A supplier of jets and tires, England Automotive specializes in drivetrain, air conditioning, and engine repair and replacement. England Automotive. Let the professionals do the job.
The field, it is the 34 of Mike Goodwin Jr. Mike Goodwin Jr. wasting no time. Back of the field to the front of the field in that number 34. Goodwin Jr. continues to show the way. Gary Larrabee, Mindy Hoey, and Cody Boersma. Mike Goodwin Jr. pacing the field in that number 34. Starting to come up to a little bit of speed down into turns 3 and 4. He's back on the gas and the green flag is out. Mike Goodwin Jr. out front with a 2.1 second lead. He's followed up by Gary Larrabee in that number 14. Then Tim Stafford, Melissa Sprague rides fourth in the 10. Randy Larrabee rounds out your top 5. He's in the 44. Melissa Sprague works her way up to the 4th spot in that number 10. Tim Stafford rides 3rd. It's Gary Larrabee in the number 14 riding 2nd. Mike Goodwin Jr. went from last to 1st on the first lap. He continues to lead. He's got a 4.5 second lead over Gary Larrabee. To go for Mike Goodwin Jr. He's up front by 5.5 seconds over Gary Larrabee in that number 14. Tim Stafford rides 3rd. It's Randy Larrabee in the 44 riding 4th. Melissa Sprague's worked her way up to a top 5 position. She rides in the number 10. White flag in the air from Mike Goodwin Jr. Some difficulties going on that number 34 car. Can that 6-second lead be all it takes for Goodwin to get around there? He is chugging. Lots of fireworks coming out from underneath that 34. The engine is about to give way. Gary Larrabee now coming into sight. Can Goodwin hold him off down into 3 and 4? It looks like he's going to hold him off. Goodwin wins with a failing engine, followed up by Larrabee. And Stafford comes home. Half off at all the concessions. They go green next time by. It is the 2 of Maggie Zwart on the point. Check that, it's the Barry Menendorf car on the point, number 9. Josh Grabe is in the G5 outside of row number 1. Looks like the Zwart car wanted to start at the tail end of the field. Wilson starts to push his way toward the front, so does Grabe. Barry Menendorf is going to settle for 3rd this time by. Josh Grabe out front, Dan Wilson Jr. followed up by Menendorf, 1, 2, and 3. Then it's Nate Trick, Mike Feckin, the top 5. Bill DeLong, Bethany May, and Maggie Zwart, your tail end in the 8th spot. Great battle up front between Wilson and Grabe. They are door to door coming out of turn 2. Wilson goes to the point in the 57. Grabe tucks in the line. Now he takes a peek underneath that 57 ride. Wilson and Grabe putting on quite a show out front. Nate Trick rides in the 3rd spot in the number 15. Wilson, Grabe, Trick, 1, 2, and 3. Battle now on the track going on between the number 9 of Menendorf and giving him a little bit of a bump. It is the 34F of Feckin. Still a great battle up front between Grabe and the 57 of Wilson. 8 laps to go this time by. It's Dan Wilson Jr. by a nose. lap out front. Wilson continues to work that back deck. 7 laps to settle this one. Grabe and Wilson with a half a second difference, 6 laps to go, make it 5 this time by for Josh Grabe in that G5. Grabe now giving himself a little bit of a cushion. He's up to almost a second lead over Dan Wilson Jr. Mike Feckin rides into 34F, scored 3rd. Barry Menador Jr. 4th. 5th spot goes to Bill DeLong. Then it's Bethany May at the 0 question mark. Maggie Zwart and the tail end of the field. Nate Trick in the number 15. He rides 8th. Laps to go for Josh Grabe. Can he hold him off? He's got about a 2nd and a 10th advantage over Dan Wilson Jr. Feckin still scored in the 3rd spot. Then it's Barry Menador. Bill DeLong rounding out your top 5. White flag this time by on Josh Grabe in the G5. Josh Grabe comes up out of turn number 2. Plenty of room between him and the Wilson car. One more time down into 3 and 4. Makes it look like a piece of cake, doesn't he? Here come the checkers for Josh Grabe in the G5. He's followed up by Wilson and I believe that was Nate Trick finishing in the 3rd spot, although our scoring isn't taken away with the G5 upgrade.
Supplier of Jetson tires, England Automotive specializes in drivetrain, air conditioning, and engine repair and replacement. England Automotive, let the professionals do the job.
For nearly 9 years, West Michigan Driving Academy has been providing Muskegon County with complete, comprehensive driver's education. Students spend time both in the classroom and on the road in a state-approved driver's education vehicle with state-certified instructors. West Michigan Driving Academy is the only school in Muskegon that offers both day and evening classes throughout the summer. Accident-free with 150 years of combined experience, you will drive safe at West Michigan Driving Academy.
All right, we're standing here with with one of the dirt late model drivers, Brandon Thurlby, out of Traverse City. Brandon, you raced at Winston Speedway now the last couple of weeks here in the start of the season, also racing part of the Sunoco American Late Model Series. Tell us a little bit about the series being kind of a, you guys kind of travel around the Great Lakes region and how things are when you travel around. And
Well, we start off down in Illinois, and it kind of gradually works its way north when the weather changes up here. We've got 18 races on the schedule. Last year there's roughly 22. We ended up winning the points. There's a lot of good guys, about a dozen real strong competitors that can win every night. Just like tonight, there's about 10 of them here, and all of us, we got a shot at it. And I don't know, we've been to Winston, like you said, the last couple of weeks, and I don't know, the track's real good tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and you never, overall, what has your experience been here at Winston?
Oh, it's always been great. The fans are great here. I love coming down to Muskegon. When Thunderbird was open, we had great fans there too. And I tell you what, these people down in Muskegon are diehard race fans.
Definitely, and you have to be kind of hardy along with the weather and everything. But yeah, and talk about, you've traveled around the state, and also, like I said, going around, and it's got to be nice to stick home close in the state of Michigan.
Yeah, it's always nice. Like I said, it comes down to the fans. I mean, if it weren't for them, none of us would be able to do this. And when we're around Michigan, it's amazing. I mean, before, after, during the races, how many people are coming up, and just like you're asking and telling me about how we're traveling all over and how we did the night before, where we were, where my brother's at, kind of that deal.
Sure.
It's nice to come home to Michigan, and just the fan base is awesome.
All right, well, thanks for your time.
No, thank you.
Best of luck the rest of the way.
All right.
All right, folks, now we're talking to Dona Marcoux, driver out of Houghton Lake, Michigan, making the trip down here to Winston this week, competing for the big Sunoco American Late Model Series, 2,500 to win. Dona, this brings a lot of different names, different faces over places like Winston, and the ALMS travels around. And you're kind of more loyal to Oakshade Raceway down in Ohio, but what's it like for you to kind of chip in on these races here in Michigan?
It's fun. I mean, I'm glad somebody can actually pay some money, or we can actually afford to run these cars a little bit more. I mean, Sunoco, it's a great series. They always have a great payback. It's not just over a winner, but you can finish fifth and have decent paydays.
Definitely. I mean, running late models is the premier division, and of course the costs are pretty premier as well. Definitely, it's got to, like I said, help bring a lot of guys in, and can definitely help pay the bills a lot easier.
Yeah, it definitely helps. I mean, like I said, when you get tires that are $165 a piece, you're paying $10 a gallon for race fuel. That gets tough. So.
Sure, absolutely. Well, overall, what's the experience been so far? What's your outlook for 2014, and how do you like it here in Winston?
A new shape or a new outlook, I guess, is it's different. It's neat. It will definitely get it. I mean, it's not. I do like the wall. I like how it's shaped. It's by far Winston's one of my favorite racetracks in Michigan. But so far this year's been a great year. We've been out 6 times. Everyone's been a top 5. We ran at Eldora. One here last week, of course, but so far this year's been a really good year.
All right, well, best of luck to you the rest of the way, and hopefully we'll see you again.
All right, sir. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, man.
So could you introduce yourself?
My name's Rich Neeser.
Okay, Rich, tell me what class you're in.
I'm in a late model.
Late model, cool. So I know I'm asking everybody this. How long have you been racing?
20 plus years. We'll leave it at that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I wouldn't have guessed that. I understand you are the defending late model champion.
Yeah, we've raced here a bunch of times, so...
Tell me a little bit about what that means.
Oh, it means a lot. There's a lot of good guys that come out here, and it's just good for the fans, and good for my sponsors, and good for my brother who helps me out so much, and it's just all around good thing.
Tell me a little bit about what goes into keeping your car maintenance.
Just a lot of time, and it all depends on the week. I mean, sometimes it ain't quite so bad if you don't beat it up, and there's other times you're working on it all week because you crash the shit up, or crash the heck out of it, so...
Is a late model a pretty expensive car to be made? Because I know a lot of times they start out with like mini stocks, right? Or street stocks?
Yeah, late model is very, very expensive. Any kind of racing is expensive. So this was a little bit more than others, but all these guys here spend a lot of money.
So tell me a little bit about, like, do you get your car sponsored? How do you pay for it? Like, say that it gets banged up or whatever. Do you have sponsors that help to offset the cost?
Yeah, we have sponsors, and like I said, my brother helps me a lot, so we do a lot of it ourselves, and just try and do it all in-house. So.
Well, your brother and you, did you both get into racing young, or?
Yeah, my dad got us into this. We've raced a little bit of everything all of our life, so you can blame it on my dad.
Did you actually start out as a young gun?
No, I actually started out in late model.
Really?
It was a little different back then, though.
Was it? How old were you when you started?
22.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So, just out of curiosity, did you go into like a profession? Do you want to do cars, or is this just a hobby?
I was actually 24, sorry about that. I just always tinkered with cars my whole life. That's what I do for a living, is little mechanical stuff. So.
And tell me what your purpose is being out here tonight. Are you also wanting to just test the track out? Is there anything specific?
Just mainly make sure we ain't got nothing loose and get a little adrenaline rush, I guess.
Awesome. Have you ever had any real serious crashes?
Yeah. Here and a couple other places, yeah.
So what is the worst injury that you've had from racing?
I've been pretty fortunate on that. You know, I can't really say a whole lot. Broke my thumb once or twice, but I've been real fortunate on that.
Oh, that's excellent. You guys have to wear a lot of special gear.
Yeah, we wear neck brace and gloves and a helmet and 5-point harness and all that.
So is that required, or is that something you choose to do?
That is a rule.
So it is a rule. They have specific things you got to follow. Now, is there a rule for your cars to, like, they have to be maintained up to a certain point before they'll let you race them?
No, not that. They just got a certain weight and certain rules they got to go by, and that's about it.
Can you not exceed a certain speed for the late model?
No, fast as you can go.
Really? Is that part of what draws you, or is that the same with all the plastic? Can they all do that, or is it something for the late models?
Yeah, there's no limit. Fast as these guys can go.
So, all of your life, did you just do late models, or did you do the other times as well?
I've primarily done this. I had a buddy of mine from J&J Machine, John Hammerly. He gave me a modified to race for a few years, but he's doing that now, having that kind of fun himself. So.
Do you just work at Winston, or do you visit other tracks?
I visit a bunch of other tracks.
Do you prefer dirt track, or do you like the
We're all dirt, no asphalt.
Really?
Yeah.
And what is the difference, just out of curiosity, between the dirt and the asphalt? Why do you prefer dirt?
Just personal preference, really. I mean, it's all about the same, but it's just what I prefer.
So can a car, can you race asphalt with the same car, or do they have to have like different tires and stuff on if they're going to be on an asphalt track?
Asphalt car and a dirt car are way different. I mean, you can take it over there, but you're not going to do real well.
Really? So it's a totally different thing. And is it the same for them if they were to bring an asphalt car to a dirt track?
Yep, same for them.
Excellent. Well, hey, I know you got to get back to doing your thing here. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Since 1980, Winston Speedway has been bringing the very best of West Michigan dirt track racing to the lakeshore. Late models, modified, street stocks, factory stocks, mini stocks, warriors, and young guns featuring 12 to 16-year-old drivers. Between races, you can visit Winston Speedway's souvenir stand where you'll find your favorite t-shirts, hats, and racing memorabilia. Or you can stop into their snack shack for hot dogs, Polish dogs, pizza, walking tacos, nachos, and beverages. Winston Speedway. Gates open at 5 p.m. and racing begins at 7:30. For more information, you can call 231-893-3023.